Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today I am dressed very nice because it is a formal occasion. Not really, I'm on my lunch break from work. I still want to keep these videos consistent, and I'm going to be busy this evening after I get off work, so I'm just recording this kind of offhand really quick. Um, Today's review is a film released by Visual Vengeance recently on Blu-ray. I watched it on Tubi TV, and it's been called The Evil Dead of Japan. That is, of course, Bloody Muscle Bodybuilder in Hell from 1995, directed by Shinichi Fukazawa, written by Shinichi Fukazawa, and starring Shinichi Fukazawa. The film is very simple in its premise. It is very much a almost ripoff of Evil Dead, with our lead characters going to a possessed house, that being a bodybuilder, the girl that he likes, and a psychic. The psychic, of course, gets possessed by the ghost inside of the house, um, and chaos ensues. Very similar to Evil Dead in its setup and premise. That's not to say it's bad. I think the film is actually rather good in a B movie trash cinema sort of way. At just over an hour, it's also paced really well. The story is fun for what it is. It's not going to win any awards, but for a movie that I expected to be god awful and unwatchable, it's actually a lot of fun. The pacing moves along. The characters are really interesting, actually. None of them feel. They sort of feel one dimensional and not at the same time. Like, they're very over the top, but, you kind of like them. Especially Shinichi Fukuzawa's character. He's really funny as this bodybuilder, like, macho guy, and him fighting the spirits and everything is in this like very macho way. It's just really funny and absurd, and funny and absurd describes the movie overall, I would say, as well. um, the low budget is like certainly prominent, and you can definitely tell that it's low budget with like paper mache mask, cheap costumes, cheap gore, like party city props, um, used for that. It's very cheap looking, but it adds to the charm of the film. This is a very charming film. The cheapness and the overacting and everything, it makes it look like this was made by a group of filmmakers that were like children that wanted to make an Evil Dead movie, but it's full grown adults. So take that as you will. But you can certainly tell that they had a lot of fun making this, which is something that I always talk about in these videos, is that when you see a filmmaker having fun, the film is going to be fun for the viewer as well. And this one is really fun, and it does get like way more absurd than Evil Dead as it goes on. I don't know if that's because of the low budget, they wanted like something to set themselves apart, but I did appreciate it with like some of this body horror elements and everything. Oh, it was really fun. Um, there's a lot of comedy in this as well, slapstick comedy, just random jokes and everything, and the fact that the main character is a bodybuilder is certainly talked about a lot, and it is very funny. He feels like this almost cartoonish, like Johnny Bravo type character. It's like Johnny Bravo and Ash from Evil Dead had a baby. It's great. The woman in this is really pretty one dimensional. I only watched this a couple of days ago, and I don't remember much about her, honestly. Um, Away from the fact that, she does a decent job, but doesn't have much setting her apart. The psychic in this, though, his character is really funny because, like, he tells these jokes or there's funny things that happen, but they're delivered in a deadpan way. And I think this is a film that's definitely intended to be funny as well. Some of it is unintentionally funny with, like, the poor craftsmanship of some of the stuff, but there are jokes that are written in this that are actually legitimately very funny. I really enjoyed it, and I really liked this old school soundtrack to it as well. Um, does a good job at setting the tone, and it definitely feels like a film that doesn't take itself too seriously. And as a viewer, you shouldn't take it seriously ever. Um, Either. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, this is going to be a film that's enjoyed by a lot of people. It's got enough gore to satisfy your needs there. It's got enough comedy for horror comedy fans. It's a movie that you want to put on with a group of friends and, get some popcorn and just kind of laugh at it and laugh with it. sort of fits both of those, and I really enjoyed this. I'm actually really looking forward to watching this again. Um, I watched this on Tubi TV because, of course, I am broke from buying other movies. I'm not broke, but there was other movies that I wanted to buy first. I'll say that. Um, but I actually do plan on picking up the Visual Vengeance Blu-ray of this in the future because it is really good. And the Tubi TV, the transfer used there on the streaming services, I believe is the same one on the Visual Vengeance Blu-ray. So if you watch it on Tubi TV, you're going to get the same visual quality at least. And I do recommend it. It's free. You have nothing to lose there. This is a film a lot of people are going to enjoy. Super funny, paced really well. The characters are fun. The music's fun. The cheap aesthetic is something that I always like in my B movies, and this is certainly that. And though this is definitely a ripoff of The Evil Dead, it is something that also sets itself apart, and it may not be like an official part of the franchise, but if you're a fan of The Evil Dead, you're going to enjoy this. And if you're a fan of movies like House from the 70s, that Japanese movie with like the girl on the piano and heads flying off, you're going to like this too, with the body horror and the weirdness and everything going on. So, yeah, highly recommended. That's about it for today. Tomorrow I'm going to be reviewing the new Donald Farmer movie that doesn't come out until next year because I, Herschel Gillis, am going to be interviewing Mr. Donald Farmer, and I am beyond excited. I contacted him, and he sent me a screener for his new film very kindly. Um, he's a great guy. You can tell right away. And I really enjoyed the new film as well, actually. So I'm going to be reviewing that tomorrow. I highly encourage everybody to watch that video tomorrow, and when the film comes out, watch that too, and watch my interview with Donald Farmer coming out next weekend. So super excited for all that. Lots of big stuff coming down the line for both my channel and Banana Box releasing. So keep an eye out for that. As always, I've been your host, Herschel Gillis, signing off for today. Zero thoughts, zero editing, zero planning, and zero brain cells. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't and keep your notifications on. Thanks, guys.